coming to you raw and unscripted. Beaming across Ontario and beyond to places like Riverdale, Kawartha, Milton, and Uxbridge. This is the Real Hickson Real Estate Podcast. Whether you're listening on your commute or putting on your suit, whether it's your morning stroll or you're on patrol, you just finished prayer or dropped the kids at daycare, you're in the bar, your car, or listening with the bathroom door ajar, near or far, this is the Jess and Giro Show. We're grateful for flattery and prone to inaccuracies. This is your guide to Toronto culture, people, events, news, but most importantly, real estate talk. Happy holidays, while the merry bells keep ringing. Yes, guys, welcome back to the holiday edition. The very positive, very merry holiday edition of this year's last podcast, actually. I don't know how we're going to squeeze another one in between now and then. Just say hello.
Hi, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year.
Yes, and if you hear little Alfie's feet going around in the background, that is him saying Happy Holidays to everyone as well. And I feel like he's kind of the mascot for this episode, because I'm calling it Have a Paw-sitive 2024.
So cute.
And Alfie, for the most part, is being very positive. He loves the W word. I can't really use it, otherwise you get really excited. He loves to recycle plastics. Even though we buy them all these expensive toys.
Yeah,
he's just the most positive dog.
He just turned 6 months.
Yes, very, very sweet, cute dog. We love him very much.
Yeah.
And he's made a lot of progress. And he's going to be making a lot of progress in 2024, which is kind of the segue for this episode. We're all going to be making progress in 2024.
And positivity.
Now, Jess, so the December's, slow, and this is like really no exception. But let's talk about what's happening in the market. Okay, so it's kind of, just to summarize this year as well, it's pretty much been going the same for the last few months in the very least. I'm dividing it into Toronto and then kind of the outer GTA and then kind of like cottage country-ish, because we have like areas like Barrie, Georgina, and then further out east, further out west that are somewhat affected, but not the exact same. Mm-hmm. So we've basically seen that listings are down, total sales are down. For in terms of Toronto, the only thing that piqued my interest was October, September, November, those kind of months. We did see a weird, like, little spikes in activity. It was trending down in terms of volume and all that kind of stuff, but we did see little pops in activity. And what that tells me is there are specific pockets in Toronto that people probably were keeping their eye on, and they waited till maybe the price came down a little bit, and then they just kind of jumped on it.
Yeah, or they sold their home.
Yeah, and as we've been saying, fixed rates have started to come down a little bit as well. So, we're seeing a shift in that kind of market.
And just the conversation of rates dropping next year is helping people.
Consumer confidence, buyer confidence. But again, it is like tailored to those specific areas. Now, generally speaking, in Toronto and further out in the GTA, we just saw just a gradual decline. We did see a little flurry in November, which is kind of like, okay, people are wrapping things up at work. They kind of want to get stuff done. If they're thinking of moving, they're going to buy before the Christmas holidays.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
And I was noticing people taking longer closings, so maybe purchasing in November but closing end of January, February, even March.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of good. Like, the reality is, if you're looking to move now, and we are the same, we're in the same boat, because now there's a lot of opportunities out there to be buying. And the idea is, if you can buy like around now, if it's possible, or even in early January, mid-January, when the prices are still low, you can get that longer closing because you do have the leverage as a buyer. And, maybe you can delay selling your house for a little bit. And, it's always going to be a risk to buy first, of course. But priced well and you presented well and you allow us to be your agents to do a fantastic job for you. You could sell it with the right amount, the right price, and the right strategy. And then, get in that time, that change, you get the hot buyers coming in and buying your place for a little bit higher. Because usually you're buying and selling the same market, right?
Yeah.
If you get lucky. If you get unlucky, it's the opposite way around. But sometimes you can get lucky. It's very hard to time these things.
It's almost impossible.
As we always say, if we knew what's going to happen, we can guesstimate what's going to happen. And we do have some predictions and some advices for 2024. But other than that, if anyone tells you they know exactly what's going to happen, what are they, Jess?
Liars.
They're liars.
I mean, maybe they have a crystal ball that we
Maybe they do have a crystal ball. So, yeah, the GTA, nothing that stands out to me. A little flurry in kind of like November there. And other than that, just a wind down. I think it's just
natural.
I think it's just like if you don't need to put your house on the market.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of expired and terminated properties the last couple weeks because if it's not sold by now, maybe you just take a breather.
Yeah.
And wait till I think end of January things may start to slowly pick up.
Yeah, we will get to those predictions, but I just have a feeling like you're only on the market now for a couple of different reasons. One, if you really are pushed to the brink and you have to default on the loan, go down that scary path. Again, we've talked about this before. There's very relatively low amounts of people under power of sale, et cetera.
But maybe it is a idea because there's not a lot on the market. You go on them if you have a great house, you put it on the market. There are buyers always.
Yeah.
No matter
so this
what.
It's always a push and pull factors, and there are some buyers poking around.
And if you're a buyer right now, and you see something, it's a good chance to jump in. Now, with less competition.
We'll basically cover this today, but again, what have we been saying? The old time from Warren Buffett. He said, when people are being greedy, be scared. And when people are scared, be greedy.
Yeah.
So now's a fantastic time to do it. And again, we're going to kind of cover that concept over this episode. But you could be, if you're looking to sell, you could be the only house in that area potentially.
Yeah.
It's not the worst idea.
No. But let's just start this whole thing with saying 2023... I can't believe it's already over 2023, was a difficult year and a lot of negativity in the media. But you know what?
It started off okay, didn't it?
It wasn't all bad.
It started off pretty good. The spring market was pretty healthy.
Yeah.
But for what we think is funny, and I think we've mentioned it once before, is a lot of these interest rate hikes happened in 2022. And people were wary of them, and some people made moves, but people didn't really freak out until 2023.
Yeah.
Did it? Because I guess they didn't realize that the Bank of Canada would push so hard in the end.
Yeah, so many times.
But look, it all seems to be working, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. A couple of other notes. The semis are the most sought after on average. I keep seeing this, and I'm going to talk about inventory in a second. The other thing is a weird little thing. The 3-bedroom condo prices are up. And they've done actually pretty well across the board. I think what it is people either downsizing, a combination of this. People that are downsizing and they're coming from bigger homes. They're like, okay, yeah, I made my money. I'm looking to get out. We have the aging boomer population now. And what is their first idea? Well, either a bungalow, which they can be very expensive and very sought after, or you might have to do a lot of work that maybe you're not into doing that. Or you go into like a newish or a new condo, and you still want the same space.
Yep.
So you get the 3 bedrooms.
Yep.
And you generally get a higher floor. You get maybe like penthouses, and lower penthouses are usually the 3 bedrooms.
It's a good lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a nice lifestyle. You don't have to worry about the stairs anymore. And generally as well, you get like 1 or sometimes 2 car parks with 3-bedroom condos. So I think it's also like people that couldn't afford that next step. Maybe they're in a 1-bedroom. They couldn't afford the townhouse or the freehold. detached homes because of their lower buying power and the interest rates being so high. And they're like, you know what? Let's just go into a bigger unit. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, there are markets that are performing well.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we always say, like the mixed markets, there's always an opportunity. Always an opportunity.
For sure.
Now, this is the advice, and this is basically the start of what we're going to talk about in 2024. But there has always been one underlying problem and flaw in Toronto, let alone the GTA, let alone Ontario.
Is it the weather?
Beyond. The weather, yes. The weather. This is. I've never wished for snow before. We're just a few days before New Year's Eve here, and from memory, New Year's Eve, for whatever reason, seems to be like the coldest day of the year. Like it's post snow. There's now like ice, and just seems to be like winds are whipping up, whatever it is. But this like foggy, rainy. Yes, it's in the single digits, but like just rainy and depressing, like kind of like November weather.
Yeah.
The El Nino apparently is affecting this kind of weather. I would have liked a white Christmas again this year. That would have been nice.
I would like to see the sun one time.
That's all I want to see. And that's the funny relationship between snow and cold temperatures. There's usually more sun.
Yeah. So we're staying positive until the sun comes out.
Yeah, this is the end of the negativity. We're gonna shake it off, guys. Breathe in and breathe out and release all that negativity. But my point was with that little.
I'm so sorry.
We did a little sidebar there. Did a little
Sorry.
sidebar. The underlying problem is the inventory.
Yeah.
This has been a growing problem.
Yeah.
5-10 years probably.
Yeah. More.
With the amount of immigration that's coming, and that's not really the issue. Well, it's part of the issue, but it's really at the rate that we're building homes, and we're not building enough homes. And the government's doing things. They're like rubber stamping. They did go through a whole period of rubber stamping condos, and now they're trying to even ramp that up even more. I think the trades are a little confined. I think we're starting to run out of trades. We found that post-pandemic. A lot of people renovating found it really hard to get trades.
Yeah.
And just in general.
And the price of everything.
And I think that's the other problem is a lot of pre-construction has maybe cancelled its projects or halted it or at least delayed it.
Yeah. And some of the bigger builders are just waiting it out. Yeah.
They're waiting it out. Now, the biggest thing that we don't talk about, yes, interest rates affect all of the residents in Canada, right? But that's really not the plan. The plan for the government when they're the Bank of Canada when they're raising interest rates is corporate loans and business loans. That's huge market. That's much bigger than the mortgage market, and that affects corporations, business developments, all that kind of stuff. It's huge. Like construction of new properties is, as we found out in the pandemic, this is the reason why they couldn't stop it. Even though there's a lot of cases and lockdowns, they couldn't stop construction because it's literally the heartbeat of modern Western civilization, or at the very least where we live here. It drives so many things and it creates so many jobs.
100%.
But anyways, inflation has been curbed, or it's getting curbed, and the interest rate hikes, they're kind of doing their job. And unfortunately, to be able to do their job, we have to see a little bit of misery.
Yeah. But not for long.
Not for long.
Let's hope.
But just to give you some numbers with the inventory, just going back to the inventory, there's a whole point to this. This is like setting up. So I'm going to go through 4 things. And this is all in Toronto. Detached, semis, condo towns, and condos. Okay, and I'm gonna also reference it back to the end of 2022 because the beginning of 2022 was the peak. Then things started to gently go downwards from there. Okay, so we had in the end of 2022 was a very slow market. 2.7 months of inventory for Toronto detached. The end of this third quarter in 2023, 0.9 months.
Yeah,
that's nothing. For semis, 1.4 months at the end of 2022. Now we're at 0.6.
Yeah. If the buyers just all decide to come back at the same time, like madness will ensue.
Oh, Don't give away the ending, Jess.
Oh, sorry.
And that's where we're going with this all. Condo towns, we had 2.7 months. And by the way, guys, the reference point is about 3 months. 3 months of inventory is healthy.
Market.
It's a balanced market. Basically, it means that if that was all the supply that was left, it would take 3 months at the rate of selling things to clear out all of the home inventory. Mm-hmm. Obviously, more homes come on the market, so it's just a guide. The condo town, I said 2.7 at the end of 2022. Now we're at 0.9 months. Condo townhouse, which isn't the most sought after, but it is that stepping stone home from the condo. You get more space, etc. The last thing is the condo. We had 3.6 months of inventory at the end of 2022, which is very healthy. And right now, at the end of the third quarter of 2023, 1.2 months, Jess.
Yeah, it's all low.
So what's the point? We don't have enough homes, and
the buyers will come back.
Unless something happens with immigration, drastic, I just don't think we'll ever be able to have enough homes. Mm-hmm. At least in Toronto, at the very least in the GTA, if not Ontario. I mean, the issue really is what? That everyone wants to live in the same place. Yeah. Why is that? Well, it's for obvious reasons. Family, friends,
jobs,
societies, cultures, being around like people, and of course jobs. Jobs is the main driving factor there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what I see right now is basically, mostly investors in this market right here, mostly investors can't afford excess stock. These are the ones that really have to sell, like the fire sale, because of the carrying costs, especially if they're on variables. Depends on their loan, whether it's business loans, whatever it is, investment loans. They're the ones that are hurting right now, which is not a bad thing for the rest of us. Yeah. Non-investors. Yeah. Of course.
If it means that people can get a deal on the purchase.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to talk badly of investors out there. There are some people that just only have one home. There are some that have 100. There are some that have 2.
Yeah, very different types.
Some that have worked very hard to get what they have, and they're very, very amazing very good landlords, and some are not even living in their own place. Some are renting themselves as an investment option, whatever it is. But that's kind of where we are. So the trends, again, we'll cover this a little bit more. The trends in 2023, we had job cuts, okay? We had inflation, which is tamed, and those are linked as well. Obviously, corporations start to slow down on their budgets and all that kind of stuff. Usually the first thing to happen is stop hiring and start firing, right? But this is also on the back of post-pandemic, where corporations and businesses, especially the ones that are work from home only, all of a sudden their overheads overnight are slimmed right down. Yep. And these companies, especially tech, which is an interesting sector to look at, they overhired on purpose. They overhired. Companies like Google, for example, they overhired so that the competitors couldn't hire those people. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Trying to get all the good.
Right. And so, because we had that the great reset. I don't know if you remember the January of last year, the unemployment. This is why also the unemployment rate was at record lows. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Historic lows since 1976 or something.
Crazy.
Right? Because they were overhiring. And then I think what they did is they did, a probation period for a lot of people. And they figured out who the best meets the company and blah, 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 whilst they had the extra funds. Now everyone's kind of going back to the office, whether it's hybrid model or complete going back to the office. And, tied with the rising costs of things. And they had to make some job cuts. But again, I think this is going to all change around in 2024. This is my first prediction. And that's going to start with the interest rates. So the other things we saw in 2023, petrol prices, they've normalized. They're back down to a reasonable amount, right?
Yeah, they're pretty steady right now.
Pretty steady. And the energy costs. Remember what, obviously the Ukraine-Russia war, there was a whole bunch of different external factors as well, but the gas was going crazy for a while there. Yeah. That's all normalized. Of course, food prices, that was the hot topic of the year, really. And as it comes as no surprise, a lot of stocks had record profits this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, sure, if you've invested, well, we have investments as well, like good for us, good for whoever, but man, isn't that a little sad? A little sad for 2023. Again, all this stuff's going to change. All this stuff's going to change.
Do you rub your crystal ball?
I'm rubbing it. Now, here's another bold prediction. I know you've heard the word. I know it's banged around. You see it, some news headlines on social media. Some people might think it's all hullabaloo. Some people might think there's something to it. Some people do actually fully believe in it. But yes, mark my words, 2024 will be the year of the crypto.
Okay.
It is a thing. It's here to stay. It's not going away. In case you haven't been following along, we had a lot of interest over the last 2 years in crypto, and it reached record highs.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we entered like an uncertainty period. You know, I think people got cash from the government or, you know, incentives, whatever it was, and people were a little spendthrifty on things, especially crypto as well, and that kind of overhyped the market materialistically. And then we went into a little crypto winter basically for the last 2 years or at least a year when prices were down and people were wondering if this thing's dead, it's going away. But the reality is it's not. And now they're talking in America about approving little Bitcoin ETFs to basically index against the Bitcoin price. And if you're not familiar with stocks, all it means is it's legitimizing the Bitcoin.
Right.
And we've had countries that, like El Salvador, that operate like, you know, at US dollar and Bitcoin, you know. Anyways, I won't go too much.
Yeah, we'll
but it's just something to
see
watch.
Where your prediction is.
Because
December.
if the SEC proves, it's just like the governing board for approving new stocks basically that go onto the market, when they approve it, apparently in January, February, things are going to go crazy.
Okay, we'll check back in.
December
2024.
That's right. Okay, so now we'll get into more real estate specific predictions, Jess.
Okay.
What's the most important one?
Interest rates.
Now, the interesting thing about interest rate dropping is the sentiment has changed a little bit over the last 6 months. They were saying we're going to hold rates until 2025, weren't they?
At least end of 2024.
At least end of 25. Then they were saying east of 24. Now they were talking about we maybe cut a little bit in fall. Now they're saying summer.
Yeah.
Now they're saying even like maybe the second quarter.
Yeah.
And now they're saying interest rates will drop by 1% in 2024.
And up to 2.5% by 2025.
And up to 2.5% by the end of 2025. Which, you know, what is that? That's 2 years. What's the minimum term? Like, okay, 6 months, but like the most common terms are going to be like at least 1 year. We locked into a 1 year.
Yeah.
And the gamble.
3 to 5 years is what
the gamble's going to pay off. Thank you very much. Pat on the back. You can you pat me?
Yeah.
Well, actually, don't pat me yet.
Yeah, not yet. Your prediction. we'll see how your prediction goes. Again, we'll check back in December 2024.
Yeah, that's it. Look, I think they understand that a lot of people were coming up for renewal in 2024
yes, and 2025.
And I think they've done what they've needed to do. I guess there's still a little bit of work. If you really read into the minutes of the Bank of Canada meetings, you know, apparently not all of them agree with each other, blah, blah, blah. I think that's all smoke and mirrors. They're trying to take a hard stance, and I think it worked. As we said before, people weren't really taking it seriously until this year, basically.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, like...
the big stuff happened in 2022. Yeah. But it became more real, I think, this year.
Yes. Now, what does that mean? Well, once the interest rates start dropping... well, by the way, the fixed interest rates have already started dropping. And again, I like to educate a little bit. They are loosely tied to the bond yields, and the bond yields have been dropping dramatically. I'm talking like they were around the 4.5%-ish mark. Now they're down to like 3.2 over the last few months. The variable rate, of course, is directly linked to the Bank of Canada set rate.
Overnight, right?
Yeah, which is at 5%. And then the product you end up with is the plus or minus prime, whatever banker or lender you're with. So here's the question, Jess, and this is not a prediction, but it's more of a question. We predict that, yes, the interest rates are coming down. They've said they are going to come down. We all kind of expected them to come down. It's just not sustainable. They will most likely come down. Now, the question is, when will the buyers jump back into the market?
I think by early spring.
Now, if you're listening to this and you are thinking about making a move, please, and I do have some clients that were kind of looking around Christmas too. It didn't work out for some of them, but come January, like January 1st, like let's give it January 2nd, because people will be hungover January 1st.
Or at the gym.
Sellers are gonna be, because what have you seen all this week, Jess?
Just a lot of
Terminated,
suspended.
And why? Because when these realtors were signing the contracts with people they knew or people they didn't know, they said, okay, we'll give it until
to
Christmas.
the end of the year.
Yeah. Because they all tend to think the same.
Yes.
And there's no buyers around Christmas, which we've actually told you the contrary today, that there are, especially when you're the only house on the street that's available.
Yeah. But generally speaking, yes, it really does chill out.
It really does chill out. And now, coming January, February, I believe we're going to have a strong, because we're well overdue. The fall market wasn't what we were expecting, but for obvious reasons. I believe we're going to have a very strong spring market.
But I believe it's going to start earlier than traditional spring.
So the question is, when does it start? Okay, usually April, May gets to be the peak of it, right?
No, March.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, March, April, May. But we could see it ramping up as early as kind of January, February.
Yeah, late February, early March, I think. That, because then people close in June, and they have the summer to get their house ready for the kids for school. That seems to be the more traditional market anyways. Yeah, and of course, I can say try and think outside the box in terms of timing and when you're going to do it. But realistically, there's a reason why a lot of people do it at the same time. Yeah. In the fall market, it's end of school holidays, want to get things sorted before school goes back, and similarly, those things around Easter and stuff like that. Yeah. That all makes sense. Now, here's what's going to happen. We're all going to expect the rates to drop, and the buyers are going to get a little antsy, okay? And we're gonna be shifting away from the fear of overpaying market back into the fear of missing out market. Mm-hmm. And that's when it gets crazy. Now, I did a very, one of my most fun intros, which was the country western theme. The standoff.
It was the standoff. It was, are buyers going to be jumping in? And they did a little bit, but they're still itching. They're still itching for the trigger fingers. Yeah. They're still twiddling their fingers around their holsters.
If the news continues to be positive, and the rates, if there's more expectation that rates are going to drop sooner, that will get buyers off the fence.
Yes, but I'm curious as to how many buyers see a rate cut and think, well, we could have a few more of those. Yeah. But I think those people will be burned.
Yeah, you can't wait forever if you need to buy.
Because as soon and it takes, as I've said before, it takes a good 3 months. It takes a good 6 months for prices to truly come down, like big numbers. Yeah. When we say bubble bursting, whatever people say about that stuff, they're talking about 20% overnight. I mean, that's that's crazy, and it's just not going to happen. Yeah. Okay. But these things do happen gradually. But my point is, it only takes a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months at the most for things to really flip around.
Yeah, because every direction. Sale, if it goes higher and higher, then the numbers.
Yeah. So we expect way more volume, way more activity in 2024. People are going to be coming out. And unfortunately, yes, we will eventually get back into the bidding wars, depending on the neighborhood, I think. The other funny little factor is going to be that if you were trying to sell your home in the fall market of 2023 and you didn't need to sell, okay, you're under no duress, there's no pressure factor, and there's no serious motivation other than I would like to do this, then what was your mentality? Well, we'll give it until Christmas, we'll enjoy holidays, and we'll put it back on the market in 2024.
Yeah, I think inventory will go up earlier than maybe the buyers come out.
Yes. So this is the other funny prediction. The other funny prediction is, yes, the buyers are coming out. When are they going to come out? How hard are they going to come out? But also, they're going to be flushed for options in the very beginning.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think buyers looking in January and February, depending on the seller's activity, is they're gonna be getting some decent deals. Yeah. But again, all it takes is the same people thinking the same thing for all these bidding wars to start back up. And I mean, not ever, that's also not a positive thing.
Yeah, but also if you do have a question about where you're buying and selling, always reach out because we can give you more details.
We are talking very generally here.
Yeah, like it is neighborhood to neighborhood specific.
Yeah, I mean, I gave you some market conditions at the start of this, but realistically, there are some little pockets where there's multiple offers
and
now.
They've never seen a dip this whole time.
Yeah, Places like Richmond Hill have sailed. Richmond Hill and Markham generally have sailed through pretty unscathed compared to a lot of the kind of other areas. Now, why is that? I think it's maybe just culturally people, the people that are moving there. Yeah. That that area.
It's just the school zone is good. Like, whatever. There's many factors.
Yep. So that's going to be the interesting thing to look out for. So we have some predictions, but we also have questions. And as Jez said, all of this is very neighborhood specific. Have I been drinking the eggnog, Jez? What's going on?
Well, you haven't stopped.
What is eggnog even? I don't even. Australians, we get it. We understand what it is, but we don't.
You probably shouldn't ask. Better not to know.
What's the deal with eggnog?
It's like a dairy product.
Okay, is it like custard?
Like thinner than custard.
Like we have pouring custard in Australia for like our pavlovas and our desserts around Christmas time.
I mean, I've never had a glass of eggnog, so I'm not the right person to ask.
You put like rum or something in it generally.
Yeah, whiskey, rum.
Whiskey. Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up, Jess. Yeah. I'm glad we cleared that up.
We're more of a Prosecco family over here.
We are a Prosecco family, a Spritz family. We have the 4 seasons of Spritz, don't we?
Yeah.
But that's some insider information. If you want to know what the 4 seasons of Spritz is, guys, and I highly recommend, just reach out. Yeah. We want to hear from more people. We hear from people all the time. Oh, we listen to you, and that's fantastic. Love the support. Thank you for listening all of this year. But we want some more questions, more interactions and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's not just about real estate.
And if we like you, maybe we'll invite you around for the 4 seasons of Spritz.
Oh, yeah. And to meet Alfie. Speaking of which, any predictions for Alfie in 2024? Less biting.
I'm feeling the positivity, Jess. Yes. Now, albeit that they are love bites. They are love bites. He's just crashed. He just threw himself down on the ground. I hope the microphone picked that up.
He's sick of our voices.
He plays hard. He sleeps hard. Yeah. He naps hard.
And we love that for him.
And got him a nice dog bed from Costco.
Not interested.
Not interested. You know what I need? Alfie says, give me the hard ground and a cold skirting board or a kickboard.
Yeah.
But yes, Alfie's going to stop biting, but he's been coming very sweet.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's doing lots of good lickings. Maybe other predictions, global warming is going to keep doing its job and warming us up in the winter.
Oh my God.
The only silver lining of any of that.
Not nice.
Electric cars, the prices, the craziness is over. The frenzy of purchasing electric cars is over, and they're much more affordable than they used to be.
Well, there's many new ones coming out.
Plug-in hybrid. You see a plug-in hybrid for us this year, Jazz? I think that's the best crossover, because I don't want to get stuck battery only. I want to have the option for a little bit of gas. You know what I mean?
I'll consider it.
Plug it in, charge it up, and then once you use that charge, go back to the good old gas.
For sure.
Prices will normalize. I mean, I think grocery prices, unfortunately, some restaurant prices, food prices.
Yeah.
I think some of them are here to stay.
It's just the new normal.
It's just and I think I was speaking to an economist, and he said like things were undervalued in this country for a long time. Believe it or not. But that's just, I remember when I first came here from Australia, I'm like, you know what? This stuff's cheap.
Yeah.
Or just more affordable at least.
Wow.
But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. Just casually speaking. But okay, let's wrap it up. I know people have a little bit extra time, but let's get them back to their snoozing and staring at the back of their eyelids on the couch with some eggnog. So what are we talking? We're talking more hiring, less firing for jobs in 2024.
Yeah.
We're talking more affordable household costs.
Yeah.
More affordable utility costs.
More affordable interest payments.
More affordable monthly repayments
for their mortgages.
and higher ratios of principal to interest on your mortgage payment.
Yeah. And more opportunities, because there will be more inventory, and hopefully the buyers have a little bit of choice.
That's it. And hopefully the prices don't get too silly in 2024.
Yeah. Let's live for balance.
Let's live for balance.
Let's make balance our word for 2024.
Balance and goals.
Yeah.
Goal setting in business, which we always do in January, but we're also this year going to do it for life. We're going to set our 1-year goals, our 3-year, 5-year goals, aren't we? Mm-hmm. And by the time I'm 60, I'm going to be retired in Australia and a warm beach town.
Just you, eh?
Well, you can come if you want. Goal setting and being just inhale and exhale all the bad stuff. Inhale all the good stuff and get rid of the negativity. Yeah. And also
try to find some light, even in darkness.
Yes. Now, if you've been reading along my newsletters and listening to the silly analogies and metaphors that I have for the way the market is and the state of things, I've talked about standoffs. I've also talked about storms. And this year was the year for bracing. And elephants, when there's a storm coming, they don't run away from the storm. You know what they do? They walk towards it.
Yeah. Because
the more directly they go towards it, the quicker it goes over them, and it passes them quicker. So again, another beautiful metaphor is we had to hold on this year.
Yeah.
We had to hold on, and there is the light. It's coming.
Yes.
The storm will pass us, and things will get better. And that's just the truth. That's not even just wishful thinking or being optimistic.
It is true.
That is just the truth. And another thing I wish for, I want the media outlets and the articles written to be more positive.
You call them and tell them that.
I'm going to do that because they love to, I think it just depends on what market cycle we're in, but they love to talk about doom and gloom. They love to talk about, whatever the market's doing, how hot it is. They're just getting clicks.
Yeah.
They're getting clicks.
That's just the media.
I remember.
We are a different type of media.
Yeah. I remember an email that I got and 2 different articles by the same person. Where the housing prices are going to go down in 2024 and where house prices are going to go up. And it was just so...
Yeah, I know. They contradict themselves.
Contradictory.
Well, we will follow up in the new year.
And we want to hear from you. What do you think? Reach out to us. Ask us about the 4 spirits.
What is your
seasons.
prediction for 2024?
Yeah, we want to hear
what is your goal for 2024? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to sell your house? Do you want to move away?
If you think you're bugging us, by the way, you're not.
Never.
We're always talking real estate. We love to do it. We're doing content. We're doing this podcast. I'm doing the newsletter. If you're missing out on any of that stuff, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out. And it's probably going to make you money and save you money in the future. So it's
worth it.
You can't afford not to do it. As we say every podcast, please reach out to us at Hickson Real Estate. We're on Instagram, Jess. Where else are we?
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Where else are we?
Are you on X? I don't post on
I have a username, but I don't use it.
Okay.
It's just too much for me. Yep.
TikTok.
Facebook as usual. Look, you can look me up on WhatsApp and I do have a YouTube channel. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All of them.
Yeah. Reach out.
Or you can email us at hicksonrealestateteam@gmail.com. Guys, this is the part where I'm going to put like some feel-good jingle bells.
Yeah.
So just imagine them in the background. Ding, 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 ding. Right, you know the ones.
Yep.
And guys, we really want to thank you for listening this year.
Yeah. Hopefully you keep listening.
Hopefully you keep listening. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Again, we want to see you. We want to hear from you. We want to experience you. And keep supporting and keep fighting that good fight. And make your good intentions for 2024.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy 2024.
Thanks again. And there is that Alfie in the background. Yep. Okay, he's saying goodbye. Okay, thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Bye.